guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you all about Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. This is Disney's newest ride located in Epcot, and it is Disney's first backward launched roller coaster. This ride opened in May of 2022. It actually replaced Ellen's Energy Adventure, which closed in August of 2017. That is a very long time. It was supposed to be open earlier, but there were delays with COVID and I don't know, because they work slow, I'm not sure. Things were delayed. So it opened in May of 2022. This ride is in the front of the park. It's on the east side of Future World, still called Future World, but will soon be known as World Discovery. Now, I have not seen Guardians of the Galaxy. I knew nothing about it other than there's a raccoon. And I think that's all I knew about it. It was like Star Trek with a raccoon. That's all I knew. So I was kind of skeptical how much I would appreciate this. But I also have not seen Sound of the South and have enjoyed Splash Mountain. So I don't really think it's absolutely necessary. But take that in mind. It's not like I'm a massive Guardians of the Galaxy fan. Now, this is actually one of the world's longest indoor roller coasters. I can say it seems significantly longer than Rock and Roller Coaster, which is also indoors in Hollywood Studios. So as you are going through the line and you're going through like the pre-staging area, there's a bit of a show ahead of time. They have several characters from the movie that are reprising the role. They have Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, and Glenn Close. Those are all reprising their roles from the movie. So the ride vehicles themselves, which I will get into what actually happens in the ride in a second, but the ride vehicles themselves, they're called Star Jumpers, and then all linked together is an Omni coaster. So in terms of seating, you have to be 42 inches to ride, and you sit 2 by 2. So you sit with one person next to you, and then an individual car has a total of 4 people, but then the cars are linked together. So if you're wondering if you can ride this ride in terms of like motion sickness, there is some spinning. Like I said, it does go backwards. This reminded me very much of Willy Wonka's Wonkavator, in that I actually wrote it down here. Hang on, I want to find it. Just a moment. Stand by. This was so clever. It goes sideways and slantways and longways and backways and any other way you can think of, but not upside down ways. This ride does not go upside down. In terms of the harness, it has a lap harness. It pulls down very smooth Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It's not the same like shape, but it pulls down that way, and it is not a shoulder harness. Like I said, if you're worried about motion sickness, there is some spinning. It's not like the teacups, like where you're just spinning and spinning. And there is some going backwards. It's in the dark. I did not have any significant issues with motion sickness, and I do get quite bad motion sickness. I had just eaten a lunch right before it, so I think any issues I had were probably more related to that. But it was very smooth. I didn't feel that it was jarring at all. But it is also very loud. It is similar to Rock and Roller Coaster in that it is loud and fast. So if you have small children that are taller than 42 inches and are able to ride, keep that in mind. If loud and fast is not their thing, this might not be the ride for them. The story behind this ride is you're transported into space and shown a cosmic generator, which is a piece of technology that creates jump holes, allowing you to essentially take a shortcut to a destination in space. The cosmic generator is stolen by a celestial and your spaceship loses power. The Guardians of the Galaxy are called to help. The celestial uses the cosmic generator to send Earth to the dawn of time to erase its existence. The Guardians decide you should board evacuation shuttles, which is what your ride vehicle is, which Rocket will control, and follow the cosmic generator through the jump holes so they can recover the cosmic generator and you can meet up with the Guardians. You're then led to board your evacuation. Like I said, the ride launches by going backward, but not the entire ride is backward. Your evacuation shuttle moves to the jump point with the Guardians of the Galaxy tracking to meet you. You travel through the jump point to the Celestial holding the cosmic generator. The Guardians blast the cosmic generator from the Celestial's hands, which opens up another jump point and sucks everything in and goes back to the beginning of time, the Big Bang, and total blackness. Your shuttle is launched backward in an explosion, and you begin spinning as the story continues around you with one of 6 songs playing. You travel through multiple jump holes as the Guardians battle the Celestial to recover the cosmic generator. The Guardians then lead you, again via jump hole, to the Milky Way and around the moon before sending you back to Epcot. So as you're riding, one of 6 songs will randomly play. There is September by Earth, Wind, and Fire, Disco Inferno by The Tramps, Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears and Fears, One Way or Another by Blondie, I Ran So Far Away by A Flock of Seagulls, and Conga by Gloria Estefan. When we rode, we had One Way or Another by Blondie. The music fit perfectly. They did a really good job with it. Now, Disney announced recently that this ride would get a holiday overlay. And what this means is Disney replaces the audio temporarily during the holiday season with more holiday appropriate classics. So from a couple days ago, which was November 25th, through December 30th, there will be a holiday overlay, and the songs will include one of 5. It will be Run Rocket, as opposed to Run Rudolph, Jingle Bells, Deck the Halls, Go Tell It on the Mountain, and We Wish You a Merry Christmas. I can't try to conceptualize how those would fit in because, like, it's loud in a very rock and roller coaster vibe. I've never heard Go Tell It on the Mountain like that, so it must be interesting. The big thing about this is, how do you ride? There is no standby line. You do not have the option to stand and wait in line. And a lot of people are annoyed by this. I think it's fantastic because historically, when Disney has opened a new ride, people will wait forever to ride it. When Frozen Ever After opened in Norway and Epcot, people were waiting like 4 to 6 hours with children in line. And then who's having a good time? Because like everybody's having a meltdown because that's miserable. So the idea of having virtual queues really makes it so you can do other things. I think that's fantastic. So you can use either, like I said, a virtual queue, or you can purchase an individual attraction selection to use the Lightning Lane, which is the old Fast Pass lane. So you can use the virtual queue at no additional cost. This can only be done once per person per day. This option is available via the My Disney Experience app on the day of your visit. Put another way, you can't book it ahead of time. So everybody that was complaining about booking Fast Passes ahead of time, I hope you're happy. This is booked ahead of time. So the virtual queue, how do you join it? Not just anybody can join. At least everybody can try. But there are 2 daily distribution times, at least 2 daily distribution times, 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. So at 7 a.m., you do not need to be in the park to join. And I would say you can't be in the park to join because the park isn't going to be open then. But you do need a valid park ticket and an Epcot Park Pass reservation for that day. The other distribution time is 1 p.m., and you have to be in the park at that time to join. What I would suggest is going into the My Disney Experience app and getting ready to click join the virtual queue prior to 7 a.m. so that as soon as your clock hits 7, you hit join right away. My husband took a nap and was waiting like an extra, 5 or 10 seconds. And we did get a virtual queue spot, but they assign a virtual queue and then they give you an estimation as to when you'll get to ride. And it was like 4 p.m. So we joined at 7 o'clock in 15 seconds and we were already at 4:30 p.m. and we were not going to be at Epcot that afternoon or evening. So we had been hoping for a morning spot. So because of that, we then went and purchased an individual attraction selection for each of us. And depending on the time of year, it is between $14 and $17 a person. For us, it was $14. Now, there's one other option, which is if you are staying at a deluxe resort or a DVC property, a villa, you can partake in Disney's extended evening hours. So the park is only open for guests that are staying at a deluxe resort. Now, this does not happen every single night. Every now and again, a different park will do it. But on the nights where Epcot has extended evening hours, the guests that are staying at a deluxe resort have another distribution time, which takes place at 6 p.m. So you can try and join the virtual queue then as well. You do not have to be in the park at that time to join the virtual queue. Now, Disney says, you've heard me say you have to be in the park. You don't have to be in the park. You have to have a park pass reservation. So for all of these, you need to have valid park admission. That does not come with the purchase of the individual attraction selection or by joining a virtual queue. Now, if you are going in the morning, you have to have an Epcot Park Pass reservation. There are options where in the evening, say you want to visit, if you have park hoppers and you want to visit the Magic Kingdom in the morning and go to Epcot in the evening, can you join these things? Usually you can. The issue with that is if they're closed to park hopping and you do not have an Epcot Park Pass reservation, you're out of luck. you're not going to get your money back from the individual attraction selection. That's on you, basically. So if you want to change, we've done this before. Say at the last minute, so you have a park pass reservation for Magic Kingdom, and then you plan to go to Epcot in the evening, and you have either an individual attraction selection or a virtual boarding group for the afternoon after park hopping hours, after 2 p.m. If you choose not to go to the Magic Kingdom, that's fine, but what you need to do is either enter the Magic Kingdom and leave so that your Magic Band will recognize that, and then you're allowed to park hop as long as park hopping is still available at Epcot, or you would have to cancel your Magic Kingdom park pass reservation and rebook for Epcot. So the only way to enter a park in an afternoon is either to have a park pass reservation for that park to begin with, or you entered the park for which you have a park pass reservation and then hopped over, and park hopping is still open and allowed for the day. So it's confusing, but that's how you can ride it at the moment. Disney has done virtual boarding groups for Ratatouille and for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. They do not do those currently. There currently is a traditional standby line for those. There's no traditional standby line for Guardians of the Galaxy at this time. So my opinions about the ride, I thought it was fantastic. I wish I hadn't eaten lunch right before it, but there you have it. We actually ate at Space 220 right before, I believe, and so it was appropriate. I was nauseous, but it was totally appropriate. It went with the vibe. But it's a fantastic ride. Like I said, I get motion sick. Rarely do I get motion sick on roller coasters. Spinning, not so great with the spinning these days. But aside from that, I really had no issues. It was very smooth. And I think because it's dark, so you couldn't see where you're going, but that wasn't an issue for me. I think it's because you're going fast, so you have all the fresh air in your face. Or I guess it's not fresh air in a building, but you have all the air in your face. So I do think that helps as well. After going on this ride, I would say it's probably my second favorite roller coaster after Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. And I say that because I'm a really big Harry Potter fan. If you didn't care about either Harry Potter or Guardians of the Galaxy, I think it would be a toss-up. Hagrid's is cool because you load while it's constantly moving. It doesn't stop to load, and you're hunched over like you're on a motorcycle, unless you're in the sidecar. In this, you're sitting like a traditional roller coaster, with a laugh bar. But I would say it's in my top 2. And if I was a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan, it might be in top 1. So this is a very cool ride. I do really recommend you ride it. It's, like I said, I know almost nothing about Guardians of the Galaxy other than the raccoon, and he's really adorable, and his name is Rocket. But I still managed to love the ride, and will definitely be doing it again. I think Epcot hit it out of the park, and I think this is light years ahead of Frozen and Ratatouille. Those are cool rides, for little kids, and we ride them as well. I think they're fun, but this is a totally different category. This is definitely a thrill ride, and if you like the thrill rides, I highly recommend you try it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye, guys.